What if the biggest franchise in history started with three kids who had barely acted before? The first film made almost $1 billion, and its cast is packed with legends we have already lost. One child star grew up so unrecognizable that fans refused to believe it was him. This is the cast of Harry Potter, then and now. Number 1. Daniel Radcliffe as the boy wizard himself, Harry Potter, the orphan who learns he is famous in a world he never knew existed. Radcliffe was just 11 years old when he was cast, plucked from relative obscurity to carry the most anticipated film series on Earth. Talk about pressure. He would go on to play Harry across all 8 films, from ages 11 to 21, growing up in front of the entire planet. He has openly admitted that Harry Potter will be the first line of his obituary, and he has spent his whole adult career trying to prove he is more than the boy who lived, and he has absolutely done it. He took on daring, grown-up stage roles right after the franchise ended, deliberately shocking audiences who only saw him as a child wizard. That gamble paid off in a huge way. In 2024, he won his first-ever Tony Award for the Broadway musical Merrily We Roll Along, finally earning major acting recognition on his own terms. Off-screen, Radcliffe went teetotal back in 2010, after realizing he was leaning too hard on alcohol during filming. He is now a proud dad, welcoming his first child with longtime partner Aaron Dark in 2023. Now 36, he splits his life between London and New York, and keeps racking up stage acclaim. The kid who was terrified of letting everyone down turned into one of the most respected and grounded actors of his generation. Number 2. Emma Watson, as the brilliant, bossy, and endlessly loyal Hermione Granger, the smartest witch of her age. Watson was only 10 years old at her first audition, and she basically became the blueprint for a generation of clever, confident girls. Critics adored her from the very first film, and Hermione remains one of the most beloved characters in modern cinema. But here is the twist. At the height of her fame, Watson nearly walked away from it all, admitting she felt lonely and trapped by the sheer size of the role. After the series wrapped, she made a stunning choice and prioritized her education over Hollywood. She earned a degree in English literature from Brown University in the United States, then years later enrolled at Oxford for a graduate degree, where she was even spotted steering the university rowing team. She has largely stepped away from acting, with her last major film being Little Women back in 2019. Instead, she has poured her energy into environmental causes, a business venture, and her studies. She spent years as a United Nations Women Goodwill Ambassador, famously launching a global gender equality campaign with a powerful speech that traveled around the world and made headlines everywhere. She made a rare red carpet return at the Cannes Film Festival in 2025, sending fans into a frenzy. Now 35, Watson has hinted she is quietly working on a secret new project, something she says she has never done before. The girl who played the know-it-all became a genuine scholar in real life. Proof that sometimes the smartest move is the unexpected one. Number 3. Rupert Grint as Ron Weasley, Harry's ginger-haired best mate, and the beating comic heart of the entire trio. Grint got the role in the most charming way possible, sending in an audition video of himself rapping about how badly he wanted to play Ron. It worked. Audiences fell in love with his goofy warmth and perfect comic timing across all 8 films. But here is the honest part. Grint has admitted that after Potter ended, he felt a bit lost, like he had missed out on a normal childhood and needed to step back and figure out who he actually was. He was never the most ambitious of the 3, and he took his time. When he returned, he leaned hard into darker, creepier material, earning strong reviews for his unsettling role in the M. Night Shyamalan series Servant. He is set to appear in a darker take on A Christmas Carol, arriving in 2026, sharing the screen with Johnny Depp. Off-screen, Grint became a family man, welcoming his daughter Wednesday in 2020 with longtime partner Georgia Groom and a second child in 2025. Now 37, he has settled into a quieter, steadier life far from the Hollywood machine. The kid who rapped his way into the role grew into a thoughtful character actor with nothing left to prove. Ron would be proud of how far he has come. Number 4. Tom Felton as the sneering, platinum blonde bully Draco Malfoy, the boy fans absolutely love to hate. Felton was so good at playing the snobby villain that many viewers still cannot separate the actor from the character. Here is a fun fact though. In real life, Felton reportedly could not even remember his own lines at his first audition and had no idea who J.K. Rowling was. He landed it anyway. Over 8 films, Draco became one of the most iconic young antagonists in movie history, all icy stares and cruel one-liners. In his honest 2022 memoir, Felton opened up about the darker side of child stardom, including his struggles with fame and substance issues, and he finally addressed years of fan speculation about his bond with Emma Watson, calling it a deep and genuine love, though not the romance people imagined. In an amazing full-circle moment, Felton returned to the wizarding world in 2025, stepping onto Broadway to play a grown-up Draco Malfoy in the stage production Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Fans went wild. He is also a singer and songwriter who has quietly released his own music for years. Now 38, Felton has aged into a charming, self-aware performer who fully embraces his villain legacy. The boy everyone booed became one of the most beloved members of the entire cast. Funny how that works. Dame Maggie Smith as the stern, fair, and secretly warm Professor Minerva McGonagall, the head of Gryffindor House. Smith was already a bona fide acting legend when she joined, a 2-time Oscar winner and one of the most respected performers Britain ever produced. She brought instant gravity and class to the wizarding world. She had already won her acting Oscars decades earlier, once for a drama about a Scottish schoolteacher and once for a sparkling comedy, cementing her as genuine stage and screen royalty long before a single wand was waved. Here is the detail that shows her sheer toughness. Smith continued playing McGonagall even while undergoing chemotherapy for breast cancer during filming, joking that she was completely hairless and looked like a boiled egg under her wig. That is a true professional. She once dryly called the role her pension, admitting the films were not always creatively thrilling for her, but she loved that they delighted her grandchildren. After Potter, she became a global sensation all over again as the razor-tongued Dowager Countess in Downton Abbey, winning multiple Emmys for it in her late 70s. She played McGonagall in 7 of the 8 films and remained an icon until the very end. Sadly, the world lost Dame Maggie on September 27, 2024, at the age of 89. Had she lived, she would be 91 in 2026. She was showered with tributes from her Potter co-stars and from around the globe, all calling her a true one-of-a-kind. A national treasure with a wit as sharp as any spell, there will never be another quite like her. Number 6. Robbie Coltrane, as the lovable gentle giant Rubeus Hagrid, the gamekeeper who first tells Harry he is a wizard. For millions of kids, Hagrid was the warm, booming heart of the whole series, and Coltrane played him with pure tenderness. Here is a lovely piece of trivia. J.K. Rowling herself said Coltrane was her one and only first choice to play Hagrid, and she reportedly could not imagine anyone else in the role. Before he was Hagrid, the Scottish actor was already a huge star in Britain, best known for his gripping performance as a troubled criminal psychologist in the acclaimed series Cracker, which won him serious awards. He gave Hagrid a beautiful mix of childlike wonder and quiet sadness that made the character unforgettable. In his final years, Coltrane battled significant health problems that affected his mobility, but his warmth never dimmed. Tragically, the world lost him on October 14, 2022, at the age of 72. Had he lived, he would be 76 in 2026. His young co-stars were heartbroken, with many calling him the funniest, kindest man on set, someone who kept the children laughing between takes for a decade. He once said that in 50 years the films would still be watched, and that Hagrid would be his legacy long after he was gone. He was absolutely right. A gentle giant on screen and off. Number 7. Richard Harris as the wise, twinkling headmaster Albus Dumbledore, the most powerful wizard of the age. Harris brought a soft, grandfatherly serenity to the role that many fans still consider the definitive Dumbledore. Here is the touching backstory. The legendary Irish actor was reportedly reluctant to take the part at first, but his young granddaughter threatened to never speak to him again if he turned it down, so he said yes, purely for her. Harris was one of the great wild men of classic Hollywood, an Oscar-nominated Hellraiser, known for booming performances and an even bigger personality off-screen. By the time he played Dumbledore, he had mellowed into a beloved elder statesman of acting. He appeared as the headmaster in the first 2 films, bringing exactly the calm, mischievous wisdom the role demanded. Sadly, Harris was already gravely ill during filming. He passed away from cancer on October 25, 2002, at the age of 72, shortly after the second film opened. Had he lived, he would be over 90 in 2026. The role was later taken over by Michael Gambon, who played a more fiery Dumbledore for the remaining films. But for many longtime fans, Richard Harris will always be the original and the best. He gave the wizarding world its beating moral center right at the very start. A true legend who bowed out far too soon. Number 8. Alan Rickman as the cold, sneering, endlessly mysterious Professor Severus Snape, the potions master who seems to despise Harry from day one. Rickman's slow, drawling voice and withering stares made Snape one of the most iconic characters in the entire series. Amazingly, Rickman came to acting fairly late, only training seriously in his mid-20s, after first working as a graphic designer, which makes his rise to living legend status even more remarkable. Here is the secret that blew fans away. J.K. Rowling personally told Rickman a crucial hidden detail about Snape's true motivations very early on, years before the books revealed it. That means Rickman played the character's heartbreaking secret for a decade, while the rest of the world had no clue. It explains the incredible depth he brought to every scowl. Before Potter, Rickman was already a beloved screen villain, unforgettable as the sharp-suited bad guy in Die Hard and the scheming sheriff in Robin Hood. He gave Snape a wounded, buried humanity that paid off beautifully by the end of the saga. Heartbreakingly, the world lost Rickman to cancer on January 14, 2016, at the age of 69. His private diaries were later published, revealing his sharp wit and his honest, sometimes grumpy thoughts about the fame the films brought him. Had he lived, he would be 79 in 2026. His co-stars were devastated, calling him a mentor and a friend. Snape may have started as a villain, but Rickman made him one of the most moving figures in modern cinema, truly always and forever. Number 9. Harry Melling as Dudley Dursley, Harry's spoiled, bullying cousin who throws an epic tantrum over having only 36 birthday presents. Melling played the whiny, pampered brat so well that he became the face of every awful cousin in cinema. But this is the transformation that genuinely stuns people. As the films went on, Melling actually slimmed down so dramatically that the crew reportedly had to put him in a fat suit to keep playing the chunky Dudley. And in the years since, he has become almost completely unrecognizable. He reinvented himself as one of the most respected serious actors of his generation, earning huge acclaim as the vulnerable chess player in the smash Netflix hit, The Queen's Gambit. Fans watching had absolutely no idea they were looking at little Dudley Dursley. He went on to play the young writer Edgar Allan Poe opposite Christian Bale in a gothic mystery, and he keeps choosing bold, challenging roles that push him far from his child star image. He is even the grandson of a famous Doctor Who actor, so performing is in his blood. Now 36, Melling has one of the most impressive transformations in Hollywood history, both physically and as a craftsman. The boy everyone remembers as the bratty bully quietly became a genuine actor's actor. Nobody saw that coming, and that is exactly what makes it so satisfying. Number 10. Matthew Lewis as Neville Longbottom, the shy, clumsy, forgetful boy who could barely keep track of his own toad. In the first film, Neville is the ultimate underdog, all nervous stammers and bad luck. Lewis played him as adorably hopeless. But oh, how things changed. Neville grew into one of the bravest heroes of the whole saga, and Lewis himself underwent one of the most famous glow-ups in movie history. The awkward, goofy kid grew up into a strapping, conventionally handsome leading man, and when photos surfaced years later, the internet completely lost its mind. Fans could not believe the transformation was real. Here is a fun detail. In the early films, Lewis reportedly wore fake ears, fake teeth, and padded clothing to make Neville look more awkward and dorky. Underneath it all, the real Matthew was quietly becoming a heartthrob. Since Potter, he has built a solid acting career on stage and screen, appearing in British dramas and even a hit stage production. He has spoken warmly and often about how much the films meant to him and how the fandom changed his life. He is happily married and has embraced his place in wizarding world history with genuine good humor. Now 37. Lewis is living proof that the awkward phase does not last forever. Neville got the ultimate happy ending, and so did the actor who played him. Number 11. Richard Griffiths as the blustering, purple-faced Uncle Vernon Dursley, the horrible relative who forces Harry to sleep in a cupboard under the stairs. Griffiths was hilariously awful in the role, a red-hot ball of rage and snobbery who wanted nothing to do with magic. He was the perfect pantomime villain for the Muggle world. But away from the Dursleys, Griffiths was one of Britain's most gifted and celebrated actors. He was a giant of the stage, winning the highest theater honors for his stunning lead performance in the play The History Boys, a role he also brought to the big screen. Fellow actors adored him and told wonderful stories about his warmth and his brilliant, booming sense of humor. He had a rich, unforgettable presence that lit up every production he joined. There is a lovely story that Daniel Radcliffe credited Griffiths as a genuine mentor who helped him fall in love with serious stage acting when the two later starred together in a play. Sadly, the world lost Griffiths on March 28, 2013, at the age of 65, following complications after heart surgery. Had he lived, he would be 78 in 2026. Radcliffe led the heartfelt tributes, calling him a true friend. The man who played Harry's cruelest relative was, in reality, one of the kindest and most respected talents around. A brilliant, warm giant of British acting, gone too soon. Number 12. Fiona Shaw as the pinched, sour-faced Aunt Petunia Dursley, the woman who resents her nephew Harry and dotes on her monstrous son. Shaw played her with a wonderfully bitter, tightly wound energy that made her deliciously easy to dislike. But do not let that fool you. Off-screen, Shaw is one of the most acclaimed and daring actresses of her generation, a titan of classical theater famous for tackling huge, demanding roles that most performers would never dare touch. And here is the exciting part. In recent years, Shaw has enjoyed a massive career resurgence that introduced her to a whole new audience. She earned rave reviews and awards attention as the wickedly funny spy chief in the hit thriller series Killing Eve, and she appeared in the beloved comedy Fleabag and the gripping drama Bad Sisters. She also turned up in the huge Star Wars series Andor, introducing her steely, commanding presence to yet another generation of fans. She has become one of the most in-demand character actresses on prestige television, proving her talent has only sharpened with age. Now 67, Shaw shows absolutely no signs of slowing down and has been widely honored for her decades of extraordinary work. She is a genuine acting powerhouse who happened to spend a few films playing one of the most petty characters in the series. The woman behind Sour Aunt Petunia is, in real life, a fearless and brilliant artist. One of the finest to ever do it, and better than ever right now. Number 13. Dame Julie Walters as the warm, bustling, fiercely loving Mrs. Molly Weasley, the mother hen of the huge Weasley clan, who instantly takes Harry under her wing. In the first film, she shares a lovely moment helping a lost Harry find the magical train platform, and she quickly became the beating heart of family in the series. Walters radiated pure maternal warmth, and she earned every bit of that love, because in real life, she is one of Britain's most treasured and decorated actresses. She first became a household name for her unforgettable lead role in Educating Rita, and she has racked up an incredible collection of awards and honors across a career spanning 5 decades, including being made a dame. Younger audiences also adore her from the Mamma Mia films and the Paddington movies. Here is the inspiring part. Walters faced a serious cancer battle a few years back and came through it, choosing to slow down and focus on her family and her health. She has largely stepped back from acting, once joking she would only come back for another Mamma Mia film. Now 76, she remains a beloved national figure adored by fans of all ages. The woman who gave Molly Weasley such big-hearted warmth is exactly that lovely in real life, a genuine treasure who earned her happy, peaceful chapter. Number 14. John Hurt as the mysterious, soft-spoken wandmaker, Mr. Ollivander, who delivers one of the most famous lines in the whole series when he tells Harry that the wand chooses the wizard. Hurt appears in just one quietly magical scene in the first film, but he makes it absolutely unforgettable. That is the mark of a master, because John Hurt was, without question, one of the greatest and most respected actors of his entire generation. He earned Oscar nominations for landmark films and delivered some of the most iconic performances in movie history, from a heartbreaking turn as a horribly mistreated man in The Elephant Man to a truly shocking scene in the original Alien that still makes viewers jump today. His distinctive, weathered voice was one of the most recognizable in cinema, He brought that same haunting gravity to Ollivander, making a simple wand shop feel ancient and full of secrets. Sadly, the world lost Sir John Hurt to cancer on January 27, 2017, at the age of 77. Had he lived, he would be 86 in 2026. He was knighted for his services to drama shortly before his death, a fitting honor for such a monumental talent. He packed a lifetime of brilliance into every role, no matter how small. The wand may choose the wizard, but audiences always chose John Hurt, a true acting immortal. Number 15. Warwick Davis as the tiny, squeaky-voiced charms teacher, Professor Flitwick, and later as the sharp goblin banker, Griphook. Davis is one of the great unsung heroes of the entire franchise, playing multiple beloved characters across the films with total commitment. But his story stretches way beyond Hogwarts. Davis was a fantasy movie icon long before Potter, having starred as the title hero in the classic film Willow and appeared as an Ewok in Return of the Jedi when he was just a boy. He has quietly appeared in some of the biggest franchises in film history. He is also a passionate advocate, co-founding a charity with his wife to support other little people and their families. Sadly, Davis suffered a heartbreaking personal loss when his beloved wife Samantha passed away in 2024. The two had met on the set of Willow and were married for over 30 years, and he has spoken movingly about how much he misses her. In early 2025, Davis received a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Fellowship from the British Film Academy, and he emotionally dedicated the honor to her memory. He also became a familiar face on British television as a quiz show host, showing off a warmth and quick wit that fans absolutely adored. Now 56, he remains a hugely respected figure in the industry and a champion for representation on screen. The man behind Flitwick and Griphook has lived one of the richest, most meaningful careers of anyone here, a true giant of the screen, in every way that actually matters. Number 16. Ian Hart as the nervous, stuttering Professor Quirrell, the timid Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, hiding a truly shocking secret. For most of the first film, Quirrell seems like a harmless, jumpy coward. Then comes one of the greatest twist reveals in family movie history, when we learn the dark truth about what is hiding under his turban. It is a genuinely chilling moment that still surprises first-time viewers. Hart played the whole thing brilliantly, selling both the meek act and the sinister turn. He was a seriously respected British actor well before this, earning huge acclaim for playing John Lennon on screen, not just once but twice in different films, a rare feat. He has always been a proper character actor, the kind who disappears completely into every role rather than chasing the spotlight. Since Potter, Hart has kept working steadily and impressively across film and prestige television, popping up in acclaimed dramas and quietly building a rock-solid reputation. He never became a tabloid name, and that is clearly exactly how he likes it. Now 61, he remains a dependable, gifted performer who elevates everything he appears in. The man who played the first big villain hiding in plain sight is, in real life, one of Britain's most reliable and underrated talents. Proof that the quiet ones often turn out to be the most dangerous and the most skilled. Number 17. Zoe Wanamaker as the sharp-eyed, hawk-like flying instructor Madam Hooch, who teaches the first years how to ride a broomstick and oversees Harry's very first Quidditch lesson. She is strict, no nonsense, and totally memorable. Here is the cinema secret that surprises a lot of fans. Despite how iconic the character is, Wanamaker only ever appeared in this very first film. She never returned for a single sequel, making her brief role a true one-and-done piece of Wizarding World history. And it was no small get, because Wanamaker is a hugely respected and much-loved actress with a glittering stage and screen career. She earned Tony and Olivier Award nominations for her powerful theater work, and she became a household name to British audiences as the mum in the long-running hit sitcom My Family. She has been nominated for major awards again and again over the decades. She brought real authority and personality to Madam Hooch, making the character stick in people's memories, despite her limited screen time. Now in her 70s, Wanamaker continues to work and remains one of Britain's most admired performers. She proves that you do not need a huge part to leave a lasting mark. One flying lesson was all it took for her to become a permanent, beloved fixture of the series. Sometimes less really is more. Number 18. Chris Columbus, the director who had the impossible job of bringing the biggest book in the world to the big screen and getting it exactly right. No pressure, Columbus was already a proven family film master, having directed massive hits like Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire, which made him the perfect choice to launch this beloved series with warmth, wonder, and heart. He famously fought to keep the cast entirely British, and he insisted on capturing the cozy, magical feeling that fans of the books adored. He directed the first two films and helped shape the entire look and tone of the franchise that followed. The result was a monster success. The first film earned close to $1 billion worldwide, becoming one of the highest-grossing films of its time and launching a series that would define a whole generation of moviegoers. Critics praised how faithfully and lovingly he brought the world to life. Columbus has kept making popular films ever since, and he has spoken fondly about how special the experience was. Now 67, he is remembered as the man who opened the doors to Hogwarts for the very first time. And here is the timely twist. With a brand new Harry Potter television series now in the works with a completely fresh cast, a whole new generation is about to discover the magic all over again. But it all started with Columbus. He lit the first candle. So there they are, the witches, wizards, and muggles who launched a global phenomenon 25 years ago. Some grew up into stars, some transformed beyond all recognition, and some legends we have sadly had to say goodbye to. Now I want to hear from you. Who aged the most gracefully, and who shocked you the most? And here is the debate that always splits fans. With a brand new cast about to take over for the television reboot, be honest, can anyone ever truly replace this original cast? Or should some magic be left untouched? Drop your take below.